There's a lot of work involved with those traumatic situations. I was Biggie's publicist, and I was in that truck every day except the day he was killed. And the guilt of not being present, the gift of not being present, you know, the juxtaposition of the two of those, I am seated in the center of that. So when you talk about trauma, all of those Biggie shows, Who Shot Biggie, too, can't watch none of it, you know, because it sets me back to that moment. So,
you know what I'm telling you? I'm going to cut you off on that because I went to a retreat. It's Erica Ford. Shout out to Erica Ford. She brought me to some One World Academy meditation thing for about a couple of days. And I met a sister there. And as I'm building with the sister, she started talking to me about her trauma and how much trauma nobody paid attention to who she was when her brother got killed. And how I sat there and didn't even think about it myself until she told me who she was. And she was Tupac's sister.
wow.
Set Shakur. Right, and I said, "Wow!" And the just imagine
China
now.
Magic?
Huh?
China Magic?
No, her name is Setua Shakur.
Okay.
Right, she go by Set. Right.
Oh, China Magic. Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's what we call it. Oh, okay. So when I met her, just when we still talk about who shot Tupac, just like Biggie, it's something that nobody even think about the family. And you just putting all these shows and
Correct.
like I went through that with my brother, right? With that story being all over the internet, I had to watch so many posts on Facebook that I could not respond to. I've walked down the streets when it was hot in the news and people were having a conversation about my brother's death, and I'm walking right past and like, yo.
Oh my gosh.
You know, so these things are real.
You know, that's an intense soul injury. That injures the soul down to the depths of your toes. And let me tell you something, there is nothing you can do about it but walk through it each and every day. The more I have the conversation with it, I start to feel free. And so let me encourage you to be able to do that. Thank you for giving the space to others to be able to do it. And I know it's hard for you, hon. I know it's hard for you to do that. But, you know, it's going to be hard. You know, nobody told us that it was going to be easy.
I know.
She said, I know. But you've got a light.
That's right.
And you don't need anything to squash the light. How did you end up on Love and Hip Hop in the first place?
A guy that I was dating thought it was a good idea for hair. So I have a hair store. It's called Hair Like Maggie in Newark. He's like, you know, you should go on this show. These girls there on the show, they don't drive the car they say they drive. They don't live in the house they say they live in. Just go. It'll be very good. And I'm just like, no, I'm a fan of the show. Like, I love it. And when I watch it, the people on the show are not people to me. They're like characters. I cannot even take them serious. I'm like, I don't want to be in that drama. I don't want to be fighting. I don't want to be, but I didn't know they would dig so deep. And, you know, I would be up there crying and this whole I didn't expect it to be that way.
Okay.
But I would say I needed it more than I knew, because these girls that reached out to me, I would have never found them. They would have never found me. It's so many people that got to identify with my story.
Yes.
I got to stay in touch with them, and now they have somebody to speak to.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And, you know, sometimes it takes a platform to bring people to you. And it may be a hard thing for you to grasp right now, but you know that it's a blessing that you survived this so that you could be an oracle.
Yes.
Yeah. This is like my second time maybe I almost passed. My mom passed away when I was 9. She fell asleep driving down south with me in the back seat, but I was sleeping. I was 9. It was so young for me. So now here we are 20 years later. I'm like, oh my God, like what if it's a third time? Like, what if I don't make it? It's like almost felt like bad luck for a second. But I think being older and being shot is like, so it came along very different, because now I'm not that 9-year-old little girl. I can see, I can remember. I'm you know,
yes.
I'm way more like, it's transparent for me. In my adult age.
Well, I want you to hold that thought right there. Don't go away. We're going to be back with more.